I've been saying for years, behind every unsuccessful woman, there's a man. And I think people just really genuinely are not soaking in my point when I say it. And it's like a man will literally be the downfall of any woman who is super wildly successful, because some will literally see a successful woman and latch their dirty, musty claws into her and see her as an opportunity, or be intimidated and want to dim her light. It's happened so much over the course of history. I don't even know where to start. There's so many examples I can pull from. And I'll say this, let whatever recent example of a man like being or attempting to be the downfall of a woman, let that serve as an example of what some warning signs are. When you experience success and those men center themselves in their feelings, that is the biggest red flag. I cannot tell you enough. That is the biggest red flag that a man is about to try and dim your light. He is trying to lessen your success to make himself feel better. It's just textbook. It's textbook. I have not seen an exception to this rule. When that mom was running the marathon that she trained for months, and her husband stopped her directly in front of the finish line with the kids, tried to stop her, and she ran around. Like, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. And if you don't remember that, look it up. But like, that's what I mean. A man will try and like take away from your shine and center themselves. And this spans beyond romantic relationships or even just men, mind you, because anybody who will see a moment of yours, see you working hard and you reaping the benefits of that hard work, and they make it about themselves, warning, run. They will do you 20 times worse. 20. Yeah. That's it.
Because you overinvest. You overinvest. And like all investments, there are all downfalls to it. Well, there's downfall to anything in life. So what do I mean by this? I was on a live, right? And I was talking to the ladies. And they were talking about how they want to be babies, right? They want a man to smooth them, but like treat them like a baby, basically. And they were like, I'm taking it literally. I'm taking it on a literal form. I'm like, you guys don't know men. You don't know men. Fine. It's nice and cute. He treats you like a baby. He puts you in a golden egg, and yeah, you're a baby. You're his baby. Cute, right? Now you're his wife. You're his wife. And now he shields you from important decisions because why? You're a baby. He does not want to hurt you about certain things because why? You don't have the emotional maturity. I understand. It's all cute. It's all lovely. But 10 years later, this is why people fall for divorce. This is why people file for divorce. It's simple things like that long term become so problematic. And I've been telling you, I've been trying to tell people, and I'm going on a deeper level so that you guys can grasp what I'm saying. I'm not dismissing that you want to be treated like a baby and you want to be treated like a lady. That's all fine. I agree with it. And people were defending this idea. They were like, my head is painful and whatever. I don't get it. Like, you're making my head spin. Yeah, that's because you don't have my experience. That's why your head hurts. You don't have my experience. You're not in my shoes. You're not in my experience. I'm the one seeing what you're not seeing yet. So I'm advising you. I'm like, he's a man. Don't baby him. He's not a baby. He's a baby to his mother. You're supposed to nurture his kids. You're supposed to grow his kids. If he wants nurturing, let him go to his mother. You're his wife. You're supposed to give him support. You're supposed to give him words of wisdom. And you will play to your role of a wife. Never become two things at once. If it's either he becomes the driver and you become the passenger, or you become the driver, he becomes the passenger. But never become two things at once, because what you see now sitting down, it's nice, it's cute. 10 years later, while you play two roles at the same time, You're going to feel cheated. You're going to feel robbed. You're going to feel abused. You're going to feel neglected. You're going to feel all of those things. As you should. You're cheated. You're neglected. You're not paying attention because you've overgiven. Now there's nothing for him. There's no space for him to maneuver. He's going to go to other ladies. This gives him an opportunity to cheat. The lady does the bare minimum and gets to have your man. She gets to do the little things and gets to have your man. Sure, cute. There are some men who just can reason. They have brain capacity to reason. But however, those men are few. They are called simps. They are called names. They are called things. So, careful. Careful. Oftentimes it's because you've overgiven. And you have to reflect on yourself. Reflect, Mtase, reflect on how you contributed to the downfall of your own marriage. And I am not saying that this man did you wrong, but that's his mess to deal with. You look into yourself, how you contributed. It could be that you overgave and there was no space for him to even be anything because you overgave. Or you were too babyish and you left too much responsibility to him, and then there's a woman again to relieve him of that because he cannot get anything from you. So reflect. Time is a teacher of all things, basically. But anyways, let's look at the staged video.
I've been saying for years, behind every unsuccessful woman, there's a man. And I think people just really genuinely are not soaking in my point when I say it.
People are mad at what this man said, right? And I love the fact that it was said by a man. And there's another angle to look at it, though, because he's talking about it from the perspective of a woman dating a man and a man being the downfall of a woman in a dating situation, right? But there's another angle and lens to it that happens to women every day, even though we are not related to these men. Let's talk about systematic oppression and patriarchy and how it contributes to men being at the top and women being at the bottom. And the fact that there are a lot of men still who earn more money than women in the same jobs. Let's talk about the fact that women often get discriminated against to get positions and to succeed because patriarchy and men always being number one. Let's talk about the fact that top management in many organizations and companies is still men. Who is contributing at the downfall of women? The entire society, the entire patriarchy. So he has a point when he talks about it from a dating perspective, but I love to talk about it from a systematic perspective. When people lost their incomes during COVID-19 in 2020, the majority of the people who lost their income, let's talk about South Africa. I'm sure it's the same in the whole wide world. There's a report that came out by the Needs Cram that said about 3 million people lost their income during COVID-19, and 2 million or so of them were women. Systematic oppression. It also said women found themselves also after losing their income having to do more home care work, even when they had men in their homes. Right? So yes, behind every unsuccessful woman is a man, even systematically. Yes, people will argue that, oh, but women are becoming successful, blah, 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 blah. Look at the numbers. While we're constantly talking about women empowerment, please go to StatsSA's numbers and look at who is more employed, who is more successful, and why. Who are the victims of sex for jobs? I'm not saying men are not. I'm saying in the majority, who are the victims of sex for jobs? Who get told, in order for you to earn a living, in order for you to afford basic necessities, you must sleep with me so that I can give you that? Who suffers from that the most? I am going to leave you with this last one. Only 3% of JSE listed companies have women as CEOs. Do the math.